Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the PGA Travelers Championship Tournament. It starts on Thursday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports daily fantasy sports sites. Esports including Call of Duty, League of Legends, and Counter-Strike CSGO. Also, I just want to say thank you guys for all support again. We're at 3.37 thousand subscribers. So if you guys enjoy this free content, would appreciate if you could leave a like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, would appreciate if you leave a 5-star rating and review. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before we get into, I made another Excel sheet for you guys, which I'll tweet out right after this. Before we get into that, what we can do is we can look back at my lineup from last week's tournament. So last week I felt like went really well. Now Webb is a guy, obviously won. He was my favorite play. I mentioned that in my video. A couple of people asked me in the YouTube comment section and on Twitter. I said Webb's my favorite play. He won it. Now again, he was high owned, so I can't take too much credit for that, but still picking the winner. I feel pretty good about that. And then DJ and Finau were two other guys I mentioned there in the mid-range. I really liked that. I mean, there's a lot of underpriced guys, right? Like DJ, Brooks, Koepka, who I didn't get to, but there's just so many of those guys that were in like the 8K range that I really fell in love with that range. Ian Poulter was a guy who had good course history. Mentioned that in my video. He was pretty solid. And then Max Homa is a value play, one of the cheapies that I didn't mention as well. Of course, the most expensive player misses the cut in Matsuyama. Yeah, I mean, that'll happen, right? That's the tilting part of PGA DFS. You'll have really good players just miss the cut. Like, you're going to have a lot of I mean, not a lot, but some of the top 20 players will definitely miss the cut, and especially for this upcoming tournament too. He's got to hope you avoid those. So, not like Matsuyama was a bad play. Just it was not looking good putting. Again, that was his first tournament. But I was willing to, whoops, one sec. Accidentally turn that on. I was willing to take a shot there. But yeah, all in all, still hit the cash in both the Millionaire Maker and this $33 tournament. So overall, it was a really solid weekend, and I want to see if let's see if we can keep it going here for the Travelers Championship. So let me now switch over to what I got here. Let me move myself to the right side. There we go. All right, should be all set now. Make this bigger for you guys. Just confirm it looks good. All right, yep, I think we're good now. Again, I will tweet this out for you guys right after this video for you guys to use. But let's go over what we got here on this sheet, right? So we have their Draftkings salary there on the first column, then the Vegas odds. 14, that just means 14 to 1. So right now, Rory, Bryson, and Justin are all tied for the best odds to win it at 14 to 1. I have the average points per game that are on DraftKings right now. The course history for the last 3 years. If it's blank, that just means that they didn't play in it. And then I have some strokes gained rankings. I actually had a spelling error here. But yeah, I have the total rankings. And then off the tee, this is the Travelers Championship. Is this course is the strokes gained off the tee is what you want to focus on. A lot of the big hitters, they have an advantage in this one. So guys like Bryson, right? Guys like Rory, DJ, those guys that can hit it a long ways, they have an advantage over the field. And so I included that right next to the total because I think that's the one you want to focus on the most. I did include all the other ones here as well. Strokes gained tee to green, strokes gained approach around the green, putting, and then I also include the rankings for the driving distance, right? So if they're ranked number 1, that means they're the best out of all the golfers there. So right now, Rory is the best total, best off the tee, and best tee to green. Obviously, Rory's been playing really, really well this year. But Yeah, all right, let's jump into it. So let's talk about the top guys here, right? So the first, 6 or 7 guys in the 11K and 10K range, right? We have Rory at 11.2, Bryson at 11K, JT at 10.8, Webb Simpson got a huge price bump now to 10.5, John Rahm at 10.2, Brooks Koepka at 10K, right? Brooks, another guy that was in the mid 8K range, now he's 10K. So who do I like the most out of these guys? For me, it's probably Rory or Bryson at all the way at the top there at 11.2 and 11K respectively. Bryson's a guy that I feel like is going to be pretty popular. I think also Rory will get ownership as well. Again, they've been really good, and this course kind of suits their play style, right? The guys that can hit the ball far. So yeah, those two guys do stand out to me. Now, am I going to get to this range again? I don't know. Right now, I still like a lot in the 8K range, a little bit in the 9K range. I think there's a lot of good value. And if you play someone all the way at the top, right, like a Bryson or a Rory, you're probably going to have to take a shot on one of those cheaper guys. So if you feel really confident about one guy, maybe in the low 7K range, the high 6K range, then yeah, of course you get to Rory and Bryson. Again, those two guys are my favorite of the guys at the top, the top two. So yeah, let's now, if you look at, again, course history, Bryson has really good course history, right? 8th, 9th, and 26th. Rory as well, 12th and 17th. So those two guys, again, I think that they do stand out if we're looking at those top 6 or 7 guys. So let's scroll down a little bit more. Let's see, who else do we want to talk about here? So I think a guy like DJ, right? He's 9.4K, and he's a guy that obviously can hit the ball a long way. He got a price hike, right? He was in the mid 8K range, but I still like him at this price. He doesn't have any course history, at least for the last 3 years, but he's someone I'm definitely considering. Again, I think this course kind of plays well to his style. Let's see. Other guys that I'm interested in, Abraham Answer has been playing really well the last couple tournaments here. Again, golf, usually a lot of things you want to focus on are, recent form, course history, and then, kind of what suits their style for the tournament, right? So again, we want to focus, not all, but a decent amount on the strokes gained off the tee. I think that's where, players can make up the most here, or where it suits them the best, I should say, right? They have the biggest advantage. But yeah, Abraham Answer is a guy that has been playing really well last 2 tournaments. Again, that's all we can really go off, because before that was the coronavirus, a huge break. So Answer is a guy that's been in relatively good form. He finished 8th last year. Again, he's been playing really well. I think a guy like Paul Casey is going to be pretty popular. Look at that course history for Paul Casey, right? He's 8.9K, 5th, 2nd, and 5th. Again, all those strokes gained rankings look pretty good too. I think Paul Casey will be pretty popular, but I think he looks really good for his price. Let's see. Another guy I want to talk about here is Sungjae Im. He struggled the last tournament. He actually missed the cut. He was somewhat popular, right? About 15-20% owned. His price dropped, though, now to 8.6K. So I kind of like that his price dropped a good amount. He struggled putting. Not super concerned about that with Sungjae. Normally he's a relatively pretty good putter. So yeah, I have some interest there in Sungjae there at 8.6K. I think that looks pretty good. Another guy that I think looks decent here is Sergio. He had a really good tournament last week. He's at 8.5K. Doesn't have any course history, right? But he's a guy that, again, can hit the ball pretty far. I think that's an advantage in this course. Let's see. Gary Woodland is one of my favorite plays here at 8.3K. I just really like the price for him. I think he's about, $700 too cheap. I think he should be about around 9K. Now, didn't have a great performance last week, but made the cut. Looks decent. And again, he's coming in at a really solid price tag there. So Gary Woodland, and the guy right below him too, Tony Finau is a guy I've played the last couple of tournaments here, 8.2K. The price doesn't seem to want to move on him. I know he got cut last year. Doesn't worry me too much. So Woodland and Finau, again, are two guys I really like kind of in the 8K range. Again, another Sungjae Im. Paul Casey looks good. So I really do like this price range once again on a lot of these guys. So that's probably where I'm going to build my core. A lot of the guys in this 8K range, maybe one guy in the 9K range, and maybe one guy in the 7K range. But that's kind of where I'm looking. Now again, not saying Bryson and Rory are out of play. I think you might have to take a shot at one of those cheaper guys. If you feel confident with that, then go for it. Right, those are the top 2 guys I like the most. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more here. Let's see. JT Poston is a guy that I'll probably avoid. I know he's been in relatively good form, but he's missed the cut the last 3 years in this tournament. That just concerns me a little bit. Let's see. Joel Dahman is a guy that's been in relatively good form. Kind of had a bad Sunday last week, but before that, I mean, the first 3 days he was off to a really hot start, and the tournament before he was in pretty solid form too. I think that's a pretty good price there at 7.7K. Let's see. I think a guy like Scotty Scheffler looks really good here at 7.6K. Strokes gained total 20, strokes gained off the tee 9. Those both look really good, and a 7.6K price point. I think he's a value guy that's going to be pretty popular, but I do like him a good amount for this tournament. Let's see. Other options here. Again, a guy like Brian Harman, also at 7.6K, has some good course history, right? 8th, 6th, and 35th. It's always good when a player plays really well this tournament, right? So I think a guy like Brian Harman looks decent as well. Let's see. Ches Reavie. I could be botching that pronunciation, so sorry if I am. But he won it last year. He's at 7.3K. I don't know if I'm going to get to him, but just thought I'd mention it again. He did pull it off last year. Let's see. We're getting down to some of the cheaper guys. A guy like Kevin Na. I mean, the numbers don't really stand out, right? Doesn't have any. I mean, he finished 57th in 2017. Not really great off the tee, but I just think the price tag looks pretty good for him, right? I think he's more of a mid 7K to high 7K guy. He's at 7.1K. So, yeah, again, the stats don't really stick off the page to me for him, but I think it's just the price tag. I think he's slightly underpriced there. So I have some interest in Kevin Na as a cheaper option. Let's see. Who are some other guys I mentioned? Again, Max Homa is a guy I mentioned last video. I still think he looks pretty good here at 7K. He's been in pretty good form the last couple tournaments. Let's see. Phil at 6.9. I mean, that seems kind of cheap, but I still don't think I'm going to get to Phil. I think just the name alone will probably garner some ownership, so I'll probably pass on that one. Yeah, so now we're getting to the range of these guys like below 7K. What you really want is you just want these guys to make the cut, right? As long as they make the cut, you're good, and anything after that is just, extra. So, who are some guys that I don't mind taking a shot on? Well, let's see. I think a guy like Russell Knox, right? He's at 6.7. He's made the cut the last 3 years, 21st, 38th, and 62nd. Not great strokes gained total or off the tee. But I think he's someone that, because the course history looks decent. Let's see. Who else do we want to bring up? I mean, Jonathan Vegas has good strokes gained off the tee, but has missed the cut in 2 of the last 3 years. That's obviously a little bit worrisome. A guy like Kevin Twa, right? 5th, 6th, and 43rd. That's always a positive. Now, it doesn't really have great strokes gained total or strokes gained off the tee, but a 6.5K price point, as long as he makes the cut, that's all you're really looking for there. Let's see. Other guys, I mean, a guy I do want to bring up is Emmanuel Grillo. He's been in really bad form, like terrible form recently, but he's also now at 6.3K. He was a guy last year that was pretty popular, always in like the 7 to 8K range. I know he's been really bad, but if you're one of those guys that want to buy low, maybe now's the time to buy low on Grillo, right? 6.3K is super cheap. Again, I know he's been really, really struggling, but he's someone that if you're looking for a dart throw, I could see it because the talent is there, right? When he's playing well, this guy is a pretty good golfer. He's just kind of been in a slump recently. But yeah, I think that really wraps it up for my breakdown. Again, guys, I'm going to tweet this out so you guys can use this to build your own lineups. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's important to do so. It's in the description below. It's just DK__DFS. But yeah, like I said, a general recap again. I really do like the same thing, same strategy. I like a lot of the guys in that 8 to 9K range, a couple of guys in the high 7K range. There's a lot of plays that stand out to me there, and that's probably where I'm going to get a core. Now again, if you're going to go all the way to the top, it's probably Rory, Bryson, but then you might have to take a shot at one of those cheaper guys. As long as you feel good about one of those cheap guys, then yeah, go for it. Rory, Bryson would be the 2 guys I would look to there at the top. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for today's video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. Again, those things really do help me out to continue to grow this channel. If you guys are listening to Apple Podcast, a 5-star rating and review would be greatly, greatly appreciated as I continue to grow the podcast as well as this YouTube channel. So thanks again for everyone to come and check the video. Hope you guys have a good day. If you guys are interested in CSGO, I will have a video up for that slate for, Wednesday slate right after this. So be on the lookout for that. But thanks again, guys. Hope you guys all have a good night, and I will see you all in the next video.